Am I the a-hole for telling my friend to leave over my weird obsession and to never come back again? I've been thinking about posting this for a while, but I've held off. Around 2 weeks ago, I invited a few friends over to my house to chill and hang out. Now, in my friend group, a lot of them think that I am weird because I collect things, but for me, it's an investment. I have a specific room where I have tons of old video games, dolls, baseball, football cards, and antiques that easily total over 100k, and since prices keep rising, I keep collecting things I know will be valuable later on. I have this really cherished antique that I, in all my trading, both buying and selling, have never even considered anything to do with it. An incredibly old Springfield 1861 musket, bayonet included. It was passed down from generations ago, and I still have it. One of my friends asked me what valuable junk I have, and I decided to turn up my ego and told him that I had a genuine 1861 Springfield rifle. None of them believed me, so I told them that I would go up, take a picture, and bring it back down. The guy who asked said that wasn't enough, and that it could have been faked, and then thought it was his personal right to practically run to my room without my permission. We all practically chased after him to stop him, and right as he entered the room, he tripped over a bunch of baseball cards and smashed 3 pots that totaled around $6 grand. I told him to leave immediately and that I didn't want to talk to him again, and that I was going to press charges. I still hold it against my friend for getting into the place when I told him no. A lot of other friends are saying that I was way too harsh with it, that it was an accident. I then told them that it was his fault for entering when I specifically told him not to, and that those items were worth a lot to me, sentimentally as well. Since I'd had them for over 10 years, they've been telling me I need to stop the legal action. Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole. He entered your private property without permission and destroyed 6k worth of property. I would say, if he doesn't pay it of his own accord, there's nothing wrong with legal action. 6k is a lot of money to be out because someone completely disrespected your wishes and space. But you're gonna have to prove that what he destroyed was actually worth that amount. Might be tough. Luckily, I have cameras and broken pieces, so hopefully I can prove that. That's a good start, but you'll probably have to get a certified valuation on the items to provide the judge. Also, I would tell him he can avoid legal action if he pays you back within, what, 30 days maybe. You get your money and he won't get a judgment. A P. Can you post a picture of the room in question? Because of the way you describe it, it seems like a hoarder's dream and a fire marshal's nightmare. A room that you can't walk into without tripping means you can't walk out of it without doing the same. Yes, your friend was an a-hole for barking in, but your bizarre behavior, instead of actually showing an antique musket you claim you had a few feet away, you took a picture of it. WTF, makes me question your whole narrative. Meantime, I bid $5,000 for everything in your mystery room. Anyone else going once? You're not the a-hole, but you need to take better care of your collectibles if you want them to be still worth a lot in the future. If you're hoarding them in one room, maybe consider installing a lock if you really don't want people in there. If you actually like any of the stuff you have, maybe consider investing in some display cases. Keep stuff safe and you get to enjoy it. Or storage cabinets if you just want it to be safe. Him tripping on baseball cards suggests you were storing them on the floor. My collectible cards are in binders that are kept in a storage box when I'm not looking at them. Unfortunately, incidents can happen like this, even if they shouldn't. I have display cabinets that keep my collectibles safe from being wandered into. If you don't have insurance on your collectibles and relying on them being your investments for retirement, then that's a bit nuts. You're not the a-hole, he continued when you told him no. Any antique store would have a policy if you broke it. You bought it. Based on your post, I am left to assume that you are a responsible antique and collectible owner, so all items are insured. He owes you the deductible on your insurance claim. If he refuses to cover the deductible, you have no option but to sue him for that value. A fine choice, sir. Let me get the bill. How did he trip over baseball cards? Were they in a box in the middle of the floor or just spread around? You're not the a-hole regardless. You're not the a-hole. People are still responsible for damage they cause even by accident. What if your friends had tossed a ball or tripped and broke a window? Wouldn't they still be responsible for the cost of repairing the window? Why should your collection be any different? Do you have insurance? You may be able to recoup some of your losses that way. Info OP: is your room organized? You're a collector, so I am assuming your cards should be filed and vases in cabinets or in protected packaging. You say that he tripped as he entered. If your baseball cards were in a box in the doorway or piled in the floor, it's likely to be classed as accidental damage, and it might be an insurance claim for you or not a claim at all rather than a claim against him. Basically, if it's investigated and it deemed a hoarding situation rather than a managed collection, then you could end up finding yourself in a bit of a sticky situation, both with claims and also with fines from fire marshals, etc. AP gives me similar vibes to my mother, who does like to hoard and likes to collect things she thinks are gonna be valuable. Then it all piles up, becomes a hazard, and there's a slim chance it would ever have real value at all. This'll be worth money someday, and I want something to leave for you kids. All she's leaving is a burden for me. Everyone sucks here. I wouldn't just take out my checkbook and give you 6K even though it was my fault. Why would I believe you about their value? Collectors often have an inflated belief about the worth of the items they collect. I would say sure, take me to court, prove that I owe you 6K for those broken pots. Oh, and maybe I would argue that the items breaking were partly your fault. You created an unsafe environment by leaving baseball cards on the floor that created a tripping hazard and not locking the door to that unsafe room. I swear some "Am I the a-hole" posts seem like copies of other posts I've seen. A few hours ago it was the guy with the broken easel that his grandpa gifted him and some friend broke. And now this one. I am not saying it's fake, it's just too similar. You're not the a-hole. Why wouldn't your friends believe you about the gun? Why would you feel the need to prove it to them and with a photo? Why did you have 6,000 worth of pots stored so carelessly and not insured? So many oddities in this story. But if what you're saying is true, then you should take him to court. He owes you the value of the pots. Assuming this story is true, my guess is friends is not an accurate description. These are people OP hopes will become friends, but are currently just loose acquaintances, maybe from work. So he was trying to impress them with stories of his stash. But as he doesn't know them very well, he didn't yet realize how little respect the tripping guy shows towards other people's property. Tripping guy is a total asshole and is not a good friendship investment. Depending on the group dynamics, that may also prevent OP from befriending other members of the group who have more loyalty to tripping guy than OP, which sucks, but such is life. So this 100K is US dollars or imaginary dollars you've made up in your brain. The whole situation sounds weird. Your hoard of baseball cards and special pots sounds like a complete mess. And photographing items to show people in the next room is bizarre. Don't you have homeowner's insurance? Everyone sucks here. You're not the a-hole, but if someone told me they were going to a room in the place we're at and take a photo of something to prove they own it, I would think they didn't really own it either, just because that is so odd. Like I said, you're not the a-hole, but let me brag about what I have offered to show you. But lol, nope, you can't really see it. It's kinda bratty and immature at the least. Your friend's so dumb you couldn't calmly explain why they need to be careful. Agreed. Definitely you're not the a-hole, but the dynamics here are weird to say the least. I think 6K is a lot to ask a friend to reimburse you. You'd have to take me to court too. Everyone sucks here. Why couldn't you just bring him up and show him? Why just a photo? Why are your grown adult friends running around your house and barging into rooms? Why don't you have your fragile valuables in some sort of cabinet? I have antiques and they are either locked away or in a high-up cabinet where they can't be broken even by accident. Why aren't they appraised and insured considering there's 6,000 plus? This whole thing just seems like ego's gone wild. Info: are your items insured? You're not the a-hole. What a disrespectful asshole who behaves that way as a guest in someone's home. He was wrong all around. He deserves what's coming to him. You're not the a-hole. If he caused 6 grand of damage, I would imagine that the insurance you have insurance, right? Company would insist as a precondition for any payout that legal action was initiated. Next time though, I'd just be like, okay dude, you called my bluff. Good joke, eh? Let's have another drink. Nothing good ever comes of boasting about owning expensive stuff. Aren't your antiques insured? You're not the a-hole. It's your stuff that he broke. And while accidents happen, the fact that he did it while entering your room against your permission makes it his fault. If he was really your friend, he would apologize and offer to make it up to you without any need for legal action. Otherwise, he is TA. I think it is going too far to press charges right away. Give him the chance to repay you or have insurance pay for it. Everyone sucks here. You for the legal action. I think you realize that you were dumb to brag about your stuff. That's a way to get robbed when someone innocently talks about what you have to the wrong person. You're not the a-hole. Sue for the value to replace what you lost. Cut him out of your life not because he broke something, but because he violated your boundaries and invaded your privacy when told to stay out. I'll phrase it another way. Don't ban him because he broke something. Cut him out of your life for the total lack of respect he showed you. You're not the a-hole. He made a demand. You said no. He felt entitled to your space and broke things. You're not the a-hole. Legal action might be going too far if this was truly an accident. Is your friend willing to pay for damages? Why not first have a conversation and see what you can work out? I also really don't see how the pots could be worth 6K, but I am not a collector. Just saying your friend prop doesn't know their value either. You're the a-hole. Clean your room and put your investment somewhere safe like a normal person. Click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.